Oh my gosh. I am it's early in Cali. Still got my coffee here. My Jack Henry coffee. I wait for a few more folks to come in. Some of you guys are probably on lunch. Some of you are up with me for breakfast. Some of you are in France. All right, so check it out. This morning, I had the pleasure of enjoying some wine with Chatea Lafite. Be joined by Jean-Sébastien Philippe. He's director of international sales over there at Chatea Lafite, and I've been honored. They sent me wine. They want to chat. It's going to be exciting. I'm up early. I'm actually up early anyway. I get up around 7. No, I get up around 6. And I start watching Sports Talk Football because I have to watch Good Morning Football. I watch Get Up. And then I watch First Take. I get all my info in. But I already watched that. Going to get some wine. Let me see. Okay, I saw GSP. And I know you can't see behind me, but I have so much. So we're gonna talk about the 2020 vintage, and we're gonna also taste some 2001 Lafite. So,
Hi,
wow,
Will.
look at that place.
How are you?
Hi.
What's happening? How's it going, buddy?
We are good. We are in middle of the vineyards. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly. Yeah, perfectly.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
So this is Louis. He's
Yeah,
our
Louis, hello.
vineyard.
Bonjour,
Hi.
Louis.
Nice to meet you.
What's up, man?
All good. Harvest is over. So
Is it over? It's all done now. You guys are done.
it's
Yeah.
all done.
Unbelievable. What's the weather there right now?
You can see it's kind of stormy and a bit windy.
And that's typical.
Yeah, this time of the year, it's towards the end of harvest. Usually it's like that. So
Very cool.
that's fine. We don't have rain, so we can show you the vineyards.
Yeah. So talk to me. So how
Yep.
did 2020 go? How did this year go? And I want to ask, because 2019 was incredible, 2018 was incredible. What does 2020 look like? Talk to us about that.
Well, 2020, it's still early, but it's looking really great. We had the great weather. It was very dry this summer. We had a bit of rain towards the end. We did the harvest pretty much without rain, so that's a really good sign of a beautiful year. We tasted the first wines these last few days. We started with the Merlot, the Cabernet Sauvignon. The Merlot is looking amazing. The Cabernet Sauvignon is coming very well as well. So far, we're very happy with it. We didn't start the blending yet, but the first wine is tasting really amazing. So
Very nice.
We're happy with this year.
Okay,
That's
very cool.
another great vintage for sure.
Well, what is amazing, Will, is that if we look at just purely the weather, the month of July was actually the warmest and driest since 1959.
Oh,
which
no way.
was kind of a unique year for Chateau Lafite, and we make us believe that maybe we could have something amazing at the end. So
Yeah, absolutely.
So what is the benefit of having such a warm summer, a dry summer?
Well, the warm summer is good for the the vine likes to suffer. It's a tough plant and it needs to suffer and have regulated water, as we say. So the vine suffer, it concentrates the berries, it makes great vintage, and you have a good maturation as well. The maturation was quite nice, and it started very early. Usually it started around the 15th of August, and this year it started 15 days earlier. So we harvested maybe a week earlier. So that's everything is in conjunction to do a good vintage. And with the global warming, we can say this last decade we're doing really good vintages because the weather is sort of drier and drier. This year was a bit hard to manage from the vineyard point of view because we're going to streams. We had a lot of rain in spring, then we had a really dry summer, and then we had a bit of big event of rain towards the end of August. and then we harvested without rain. So it's usually, before it used to be like up and down. Now it's rain, then big sun, big rain. So it's a bit harder to manage, but the vintages are better and better, really. So
Yeah, but that's funny because in order the wine has to earn its structure by being stressed out, right? They have to work hard for it. So that's why
exactly.
that's why it's good, right? To have that beautiful structure. You have to earn beauty.
Exactly.
It's exactly that. You deserve it. You need to deserve it.
Very cool. So so take us around. Let us know what's been going on and what else is going on for 2020.
So just let me
Where
check
are we now?
if we can turn the camera. I'm just checking how we can do that. Now I can film Louis. So we are in the middle of the vineyards of Lafite, one of the iconic places.
Yes.
Louis, can you tell us a bit more?
So here we're in a block of Merlot here. You can see the chateau over there, all the cellars in the pink buildings there.
Yep.
And so here we're in the heart of Lafite. There is a big, what we call a plateau. It's like a big area covered with the Cabernet Sauvignon. So here we are really in the heart of the Cabernet Sauvignon in Bordeaux. So it's one of the best places to make Cabernet Sauvignon. So you can see all the way there. It goes all the way up. Maybe we can walk up to see the view.
Because I don't know if you realize, Will, we are actually in a very steep. It's a steep vineyard. If I'm showing you, we are just at the winery is at the bottom, and we go up to what we call with Louis the hill of Lafite, because actually Lafite is coming from old French, which is the name is Lahit, and Lahit means the hill. This is why actually the name Lafite is coming from, and it's kind of a hilly vineyard for Pauillac, and this is why also we have so much quality gravels. It's because the quality of the soil and the composition of the vineyard is actually perfect for the water to store and to be also not too restrained. And for us, it's very, very positive. And Louis is showing you where we are at the top now.
Oh, very nice.
So here you can.
Is that a good workout? Lots of exercise.
Yeah, it's always a good workout to be in the vineyard. So here we're in the top of the hill of Pauillac. It's one of the highest points. So you can see all the vineyard. You can see all the way is Lafite. If you look right at the back there is Mouton as well.
Can you see at the back, Will? There is a small house. We can see it's Mouton Rothschild over there.
Oh, right. Okay.
Where there is some construction right now. Actually, you can see.
And you said you're sitting. You are on which block right now? Where are you?
We are on the block of Cabernet Sauvignon, which is some of the oldest Cabernet Sauvignon we have. Maybe Louis, can you tell us what is the age of the vineyards here? Maybe.
So the age here, if you go on this plateau, it goes between 1980s, and it all goes all the way back to 1936.
Oh wow! Okay.
1939 actually, and it's one of the all these blocks here. They make Lafite every single year. When we do the blending, we always taste blind. We don't know which block is on the table in the glass, and then every year it comes back to being Lafite and to go in the great wine, in the grand vin as we say. And it's coming for all these very old vines, very well regulated in the ground because it's gravelly soils. And it's very old as well, so the vine has memory. And this year, a lot of vineyards suffered from the heat, especially the young vines. But the old vines know how to take the water and regulate the water deficit, as we call technically. And so that's why it's one of the most beautiful places in the world for Cabernet. It's the soil and the terroir is really amazing, and the plant itself is from so far. Back in it's like in age here for ages. It's been worked by so many workers in the vineyard. We have a big team. We have about 80 people working in the vineyard, working the
80.
Yeah, 80. Yeah,
80 people working hard all year long with the big weather, under the rain, under the cold, under the heat, and they managed to have this beautiful plant that we have at the end. And so here now you can see it's the end of the year for the.
As you can see, the leaves are starting to change colors. They are starting to fall.
So it's a bit of the end of the year. What you can also see that we just did is the grass on the ground. We just sow some grass.
Can you see that we have
Yeah.
in a very simple way because it's quite
Yes.
technical, but
So it's quite technical, but in some in a few words, we saw the under the in the rows to grow some grass basically, and then we bury the grass in the spring, and this grass is getting rotten sort of, and then it's feeding to feed the plants. So it's like natural.
So it's like more like natural fertilizer, basically.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So Louis, when did you just arrived? Yeah. When did you end up there?
Well, that's a bit of a long story. I'm here since 3-4 years, and before that, I was working actually with Jean-Sébastien. I worked at LVMH before, so I've been around the world. I worked in Australia. I worked in
Napa.
I worked in Argentina. I worked in Spain as well. And then I wanted to come back because my parents are wine growers in Bordeaux. They were wine growers, so I wanted to go back to my land, let's say, and so that's why I ended up in Lafite.
Oh, perfect. Very nice.
Louis is very modest, but there is not so many people around like him around the world who are so complete in terms of understanding every type of terroir. A lot of countries you have been doing harvests in actually every continent, basically. So
yes, yeah.
so it's very good for us, to have this knowledge of someone who understands vines from around the world. It's helping us a lot. So.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely important, because now you have a physical ability to compare of who's doing what. That's really cool, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's there's huge difference between places, but really at the end, I met a lot of people who love their job. But here, what's amazing here in Pauillac is that people are doing that for generations, and they really love the work in the vineyard, in the cellar. Like, I mean, everyone is there's more than 100 people at Lafite, but it's one big group and all working together. So that's really amazing place. And the Cabernet Sauvignon in Lafite is for people who have the chance to have drunk Lafite in their life. It's an amazing Cabernet with a lot of elegance, and it's a very refined Cabernet Sauvignon. So that's why it's a unique place, and we are all very proud to work here, really. So every day is a beautiful day. So that's good. That's a good thing.
Oh, very cool, man. Always go back to the roots. It's funny, as you're talking, I'm taking a lot of notes. I'm like learning more. I'm always a student, man.
It's good. We keep learning. Even us every year is different, and this year was different again from the previous one. So it makes everything quite fun. We don't get bored.
Very cool. So yeah, you guys sent me the 2001.
Yeah. So maybe what we are doing, we can discuss, and we are moving to the tasting room, so live with you in order to taste the wines with you.
Yeah. So hey, listen, we're going for a walk.
Look at that, getting down back to the winery. As you can see, and we were quite hilly.
Oh yeah, you were way up there, huh?
Yeah. So as you
so
can
JSP,
see,
how when did you arrive?
Me, it's quite recent. I arrived 1 year and a half now. I was working, as Louis said, we were working together at LVMH in the wine division, and I was working also for Hennessy Cognac.
Okay.
And I've been joining here, and basically Louis and his team are making the wines, and my job is to make sure that people, wine lovers like you, can enjoy it.
So tell me the difference of working for spirits versus working for wine. What's the big difference?
Oh, it's absolutely different in terms of purely in terms of way of communication. First of all, the marketing is very strong in spirits, and in cognac, for example, you have Hennessy lovers, you have Martel lovers, you have Remy lovers, and it's purely because of the DNA, because of I don't know, the values that the brand is carrying. When we talk about wine, it's first of all talking about terroir, talking about quality, And this is a big learning. I think everything is driven by the quality and the attention to details in producing, rather than focusing on communication and marketing, first of all. So for me, it was really a change of articulating commercial and marketing actions. And then after, there is one thing which is absolutely different, is also the long-term vision. Because when you do something in wine, if you work for spirits, let's take example of vodka, for example. Vodka is easy to produce. You can produce it straight away. If you need to produce more, you can produce more. If you need to produce less, you can do it.
Right.
When we talk about wines, decision we take with Louis and the team and all together, when we decide to pull out some vineyards, replant some others, it's thinking 25 years ahead, because we know that those vineyards can only produce Lafite in 25 years. So it's very long-term planning. So it makes your decision, you need to take great care of taking decision for that reason. So I don't know if you can see, we are now in the middle of really Chateau Lafite. So Louis told you that the pink part is our cellar. This is where we make wines. This is the private Chateau Lafite. This is a private place where still the Rothschild family today is still living. And this is where we are going now to our tasting room.
Everyone, just go for the walk. Enjoy the ride.
And we are.
Very nice.
With Lafite 2001, I assume you have the same. Very good.
This is my second. This is my breakfast, by the way.
What time is it for you?
It's 8 a.m.
That's a good breakfast.
What a breakfast for you.
Yes.
So for us, it's aperitif time. It's 5:20 p.m.
Yeah, of course. Listen, business starts early over here for me. I got to get going early.
But it's for a good reason.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Of course, yeah, man.
So Louis,
I can't wait till everything is somewhat normal. We're ready to come out there and visit, man.
Next time you need to come. Like that, we would taste at the same time.
Totally.
So maybe Louis, can you share a few words about 2001, which I know you were not there at that time, but
yeah. It's a bit difficult to talk about vintages where you haven't done them, but 2001, from what I heard, was that's actually a very good vintage. There was quite a temperate vintage. It was not as extreme as the one we have in the last 10 years, but there was a mild vintage, and what I can tell at least is the result is amazing, because it's it came right after 2000, as we all know.
Yeah, exactly.
But 2000 was, everyone looked at 2000 with big eyes and saying, wow, that's 2000. And so 2001 came right after, and people didn't look at it as much as 2000, but it's really one of my favorite Lafite, because it's really elegant, it's really yet powerful, and it's we're 19 years later, and it's just good to drink now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
it's just being open. To be honest with you, Willie, I think it's one of the vintage where we had a lot of discussion between 2000, 2001. 2000 is a monster in terms of power, energy. It's purely, like a kind of a wine which is still under development. It doesn't have yet the capacity to be enjoyed now. 2000 will need at least maybe 5 to 10 more years. And the wine is really, really dense and concentrated. 2001 was already much accessible, even a bit younger. And as Louis said, it's a vintage that has been forgotten because it came after 2000, and 2000 was really, really a collectible wines.
Right.
Lafite 2000 is one of the most pricey vintage ever produced. Of course, our neighbors at Mouton was an iconic bottle and an iconic vintage, and 2001 was behind that. And a lot of people realize today that it's actually one of maybe of the forgotten vintage of Bordeaux.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally underrated because I think it's excellent. It's very well. It's completely balanced, and it's. I think if 2000 had not happened, then they'd be talking more about 2001 because I think this is excellent.
How do you taste the wine yourself, Will? Is it the bottle is in good shape, good condition?
Mm. No, the bottle's perfect. The cork is awesome. Um, I was able to get it with just a regular wine key. Everything is great. Structure is awesome. But yeah, even with this one, I still think this could go another 10. I think I lost him. That's because they got that French Wi-Fi. All the vines. There you are.
Sorry, Will. I don't know why
Go back.
it has been cut.
Huh?
So yeah,
What's up with the Bordeaux Wi-Fi?
I don't know, but we are not in Bordeaux.
Am
we
I
are
here?
in Pauillac. We are in Pauillac, and the Wi-Fi is much.
Oh yeah,
is
excuse
much
me.
more.
Yeah, sorry.
it's countryside here.
It's countryside. Huh?
Countryside. There you go. Yeah.
We do our best.
We don't have good Wi-Fi, but we have
No, I
good
understand.
wine, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, you hear me? Am I good?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. No, I was saying that that if it wasn't for like 2000, this would be 2001 would be more talked about. I think overall, I think the structure and quality is awesome, and I still think this one can go another 10 more years in the cellar.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you can feel on the palate that it's still have a good structure and it can wait. It's still quite powerful for this age. So you could wait another 5-6 years, maybe 10 years even. It will still have this full body. And it's that's the power of Lafite. It is you can drink it early in its life and it's really good, really powerful, and it gets more and more elegant as years goes by. So that's a unique product, really.
And it's also quite a very Merlot-driven vintage. Lafite normally it's between 5 to 10% Merlot in the final blend, especially if we look at the latest vintages. 2001 we had more than 15% Merlot in the blend, if I remember well, which makes it also much more accessible. Merlot tend to be a bit more ready to drink when it's young. The wine is the wine made with Merlot tend to have a bit more generosity. Tannins get softer, a bit younger, and this is one of the reasons why 2001 has been quite accessible on a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the acidity and alcohol is like really well balanced, but it's still just a little tart, in terms of it's still being pretty young. They said they're on the countryside. There we go. It's all good, man. No, I said that even though the alcohol in the city is pretty balanced, I still, the fruit is still tart, still young, in a sense.
Yeah, the fruit is still there, fresh fruit, but we start to have some aromas of Pauillac, of mature Pauillac, with the tobaccos, the Habana, the cigar, perfume, which is there, which we love in mature Pauillac, which start to get that. This is what we love at Lafite. Always Lafite blind. If you find this Habana, tobacco, perfume, you might be in Pauillac and you might be in Lafite, especially. So
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, I get definitely some like graphite, and some cedar, And this is 12 and a half alcohol. Yep. That's wild.
Always Lafite is quite.
Yeah, it's really even through the years, really, and even this year was not very high in alcohol, but last year was high in alcohol in a lot of places, and we harvested the Merlot quite high in alcohol, but the Cabernet is always very buffered. and it's always around 12, 13, maybe some
Right.
some of the blocks will go to 13 and a half, but as you blend everything, then you go back to 12, 13. So it's always very, and that's why it's amazing, because the alcohol is not that high, and still the power is here, and the structure, and so it's really amazing. Yeah.
And what are the blends typically? What's your signature blend, the typical? Just for those who don't know.
So the blend is typically, let's say, around 10% of Merlot and 90% of Cabernet Sauvignon. Then it depends. Like this one, it can be closer to 15% of Merlot. The thing is, for the people that don't know about wine and about Bordeaux, Bordeaux is only blend wines, which means that we associate two varieties of grapes together, and the Cabernet is really is the big boy, let's say, in the wine, and it's a lot of structure, and then the Merlot is here to sort of buffer this power and then fill in the mouth as well. So it's the combination of these two grapes that makes the Lafite amazing today, and so we only have these two grapes in the Lafite. Sometimes we can have other grapes like Cabernet Franc or Petit Verdot, but most of the wines usually either is Cabernet and Merlot. So there is always some Merlot and some Cabernet in Lafite. You cannot find a straight Cabernet or straight Merlot. So
it's almost like Cabernet is the big bold guy, and you need to get the Merlot to bring the elegance, right, and the color for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next for Lafite? Like what's the plan now? I'm sure a lot of wineries had to make a lot of adjustments with the pandemic going on in the world, and also too, not only in terms of what they're doing for wine, but also in terms of marketing. Like what are the next steps for Lafite, or just for the whole Baron Rothschild as a whole?
I think it's a very good question. I think Bordeaux has been maybe neglecting something. It's talking directly to end consumers for many years, and it's really driven by the fact that the distribution system in Bordeaux, is you have the chateau who produce the wines, you have négociants who buys the wines to us, négociants based in Bordeaux, who then after can sell to key retailers around the world. In the US, your Wine Exchange, Wally's, K&L, all the big names we know are buying through the négoce to get our wines, which make us very distant from the end consumers like you guys. And something that is changing in Bordeaux, and something that we have been leading over the last years, is to try to discuss more and more with consumers. One of the reasons is that we believe that in the world today, we need to create some bonds, to create emotion, to have some more connections, and deal directly with people, because we are in a world where we like to know everything about products. We like to have direct interactions, and today a wine lover of 30 based in Texas, for example, he wants to know how the wine has been made, he wants to know the name of the winemaker, he wants to know what was the blend, the vintage condition, and there is no better person than the properties to convey the message, and this is what we try to achieve. So we do more and more dinners, we do more and more tasting, we try to partner with people like you who are really, I would say, I don't like the word opinion leaders, I like the word educators or wine
educators, yeah.
Wine educators, because you are at the same time someone who can lead opinion, but more importantly, you are someone who let people get access to wines. And we know wines can be intimidating, and you make it very interesting and accessible. And this is what we need to do in order to make our wines interesting. We need to make them accessible.
No, that's fair, because I know we had discussions before, and especially with all these, all the first grows, they're all intimidating. They seem hard to reach, hard to find, and a lot of wineries like that. They like being hard to find. They only want a certain audience to have access to it. So I think it's great that you're like, listen, we are one of the luxury wines, and everyone should be able to know about it and have access to it. So I think that's a smart move. And it's funny, Lafite has been around, for centuries, and you look at the vineyard and everyone is so young.
Yeah.
Everyone's so young that even new director, right? She's what, 30, 32, 33?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
But this is also, we know we have a change of generation also at the head of the family, because Saskia de Rothschild took over from Baron Eric 2 years ago now in 2018. And Saskia, she's 32 years old. She's the first woman of the family to lead the property. She's a viticulturist herself. So, having someone like that leading also and kind of changing the way we do things, and it's very, very, for us intellectually fantastic, because we just question ourselves of what is the future of a property like Lafite. Every great chateaus can become very hot and trendy at some points, but can very quickly become irrelevant and not so much interesting for younger generation. And we keep questioning ourselves in everything we do. And Louis and his team are questioning themselves every day in the vineyards.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
To do better, and we do the same in everything.
Yeah, we do. We do a lot of. When you pull out a vineyard, from the time you pull out a vineyard, because after 100 years it starts to be tired. When you pull out the vineyard because it's too old, and by the time you replant them, it's like 6 or 7 years before you have wine. And as said Jean-Sébastien before, you have to wait 25 years before you get to the point where you make great wine again. So we do a lot of studies, a lot of analysis. We go beyond what we used to do, and it's always in the first growth is always to get the little details that makes the wine different in the future. And so there is all this technical side of choosing the right vine, the right places to plant it, the right soil to put which, if it's Merlot, if it's a Cabernet, if it's a Petit Verdot, if it's Cabernet Franc. So there's all this work here, and then we are starting as well a new project of reintroducing sort of about biodiversity, to plant trees in the vineyard, to plant small trees, big trees, to reshape the blocks, to reintroduce animals in the vineyard. So there is a lot of work done in this way, and it's it's sort of a new generation, and so that's really exciting for us, because we have a lot of challenges ahead. On the commercial side, on the technical side, so that's really promising future, really.
Yeah, because you definitely want to. We're in the. That's why I think we're working together, because the thing is we want to be able to market to a younger audience, but we still want to keep the integrity of the brand. We don't want to tarnish it. We still want to keep it like that, because I learned that. The younger crowd, they are buying luxury goods, but they wanna be a part of things that they can relate to, and I think that with Lafite taking that step of trying to go in that direction of being more approachable, more relatable, I think that speaks volumes of what you guys are aware of,
Which has been your comment is very true. It's a big frustration with the COVID thing we are living, which unfortunately might last for a bit more. But one thing the best marketing we can do is invite people to come in the vineyards and to meet Louis, to meet the team, to see how we work, because we are not in big, marketing or promotional campaign. Everything we do is really to try to let people and to share our passion for wines.
Well, you really don't need to, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, and I think it would be even worse. It would be dangerous for the brand if we were doing that, because when you start doing that, it means that you may have, something to hide rather than just purely producing wine. And this is why every focus is made on making sure that we can welcome people in good condition and spend a good time here. So.
Mm-hmm.
No, exactly. That's what I mean, right? You want to find ways to, market, but you want to keep the integrity, stay to what is true. Do you find yourselves going out into, the city more, downtown more? Do you see yourself doing that?
In terms of event, clearly we have stopped, big events in hotel ballroom as we were doing in the past. It's really now private event, small scale. We do dinners with Louis, where we just, have a crowd of people just passionate by wines, and it's just a discussion. And again, once again, it's about passionating people. And that one thing which is good is every time you talk to wine lovers, you share good moments, you know, because it's passion. It's you can enjoy wines from all around the world and just spending a good time. And at the end, it's beneficial for everyone. It's purely, you know, people imagine. I don't know if people imagine that there is, you know, competition between the chateaus here, but it's absolutely not the case. We are in the same, you know, ecosystem, facing the same difficulties every year, and it's just purely, you know, helping each other and try to just share our passion.
Very cool. Well, no, I think that's awesome. I'm honored, man, that first of all, you know, you guys reached out to me. I think that was, for me, man, that speaks volumes. I think that's super cool, and I feel totally, you know, once again, honored about that. And please send more. And yeah, and hopefully, I think we're looking sometime next year to come out there and hang out. And I'm rounding up some troops. I got a couple of guys that are definitely interested to go. My family, of course, we're going to come out there and hang out, and I can't wait to. You know, obviously we can do more of these, whatever you like, but you know, I can't wait to get out there and dine and have wine and hang out, you know, and really enjoy.
Thank you so much, Will, for
Yeah.
your words, and most importantly, thank you for sharing your passion of wines. I was discussing with Louis just before the call about what you do and your background and how you decided after a very successful career in sports to change to you know, something in wine. And you know, if we had more people like you coming from different backgrounds sharing their passion, would be fantastic. So you're doing a great job in sharing the work that Louis and his team are doing. So
No, thank
Yeah,
you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome. You're very lucky to drink Lafite, and that will be a real pleasure to have you here for sure once this COVID-19 disappear, and we'll be here. Yeah, for sure.
No, thank you. Yeah, and I'll Louis, I'll get your number, or just you can give him my number, JSP, and then
Yep.
and we can communicate. That'd be awesome.
Awesome.
All right, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, man. This is a lot, big time, man. Just not just for you and I, but just for the industry, man. I think it's really cool that both of our worlds are colliding, and we're really trying to make something happen and keep, you know, this community rolling. So thank you guys so much.
thank you, Will. Take
Thank you.
care. Take care.
Alrighty.
Bye bye.
So that was fun, right? That was more than fun. That was pretty cool. Bordeaux for breakfast. That should be my new thing. Yeah, so okay, no questions. Anyone have any questions? I got like 2 minutes. I got more meetings. So yeah, I think that was awesome, man. They're really, so the biggest thing for that is Lafite. They understand that yes, they're high-end first grows, and that they are one of the most intimidating wineries out there, and but they want to be more approachable. They're like, everyone, not just the ones that can truly afford it, should have access. They said everyone should be able to find a way to have access to it, you know, because it's one of the best, and you can see just, you know, talking to Louis and JSP, you know, they're bringing on younger people. They just hired a new director there, and you know, she's 33, 32 years old, and she's, you know, part of the family. You can tell just based on, for me, I can tell how tart it is. That means that the young, almost think of like, you know, you get a piece of fruit that's really tart and still sour. It can still ripen longer. So that's kind of how I can tell with certain wines, you know, if the tannins are really strong, if the fruit is really tart, then I'm like, okay, it can still age a little longer. And so when you do have a wine that is aged appropriately, it's really smooth, man. You get more ripe notes in there. Sometimes some companies actually, they make the wine ready to drink like that. They do all kinds of cool techniques, things in science where the wine is already ready to go. But that's how I can tell. But thank you so much for this. I might jump back on live in a bit, but thank you again. I appreciate it.